Hello and welcome to another episode of Deliciously Awkward. Now normally I would be teaching you how to cook something, but I did some traveling earlier in the week and didn't have a chance to plan anything or go to the grocery store. So instead, I'm going to do something even more fun. I'm going to share 5 controversial food opinions with you. Now let me preface this by stating that, yeah, of course everyone has their own things that they like or don't like, and who am I to tell you that you should like something or not? But in these 5 opinions I'm going to share, if you don't agree with me, then there's something wrong with you. All right, so we'll start with the number 5, go all the way to number 1. And my top 2 are going to be pretty controversial and make me some enemies, so make sure you watch till the end. All right, number 5. When it comes to chicken wings, I prefer the wingette to the drumette. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you get a big plate of buffalo wings or 2 shapes that the chicken comes in, the little one that looks like a drumstick is called the drumette, and the other one, for lack of better terms, is the wingette, or sometimes called the flat. So I find the wingette has a lot more flavor. It has skin covering the whole thing, so it's nice and crispy. The meat inside is nice and soft. I get with the drumette, it's a little easier to pick up and handle, but I find with that piece, just the nature of how the bone is on the animal, it has, a few different muscles that have different textures and different tastes, and sometimes you get a tendon thrown in there, and I just don't enjoy eating them as much as the other part. Moving on to number 4, mashed potatoes. I don't care for them. I know everyone seems to love mashed potatoes, but when it comes down to it, you have this, big pile of mush. They never taste like potato. They never taste that great. It's just this, it's just always bland, and you're just staring at this big pile of white mush. It's extremely white, extremely bland, extremely boring. And I realize I probably just described myself. Okay, my number 3 controversial food opinion is that chicken parmesan, or chicken parm for short, is trash. And this goes for eggplant parmesan and veal parmesan, whatever parmesan you could think of. But I just find it, it just tastes pretty basic to me. And just, if you want something smothered with sauce and cheese, just get pizza, wide covered on a, bland piece of chicken breast. But, if you order it at a restaurant on a single plate, it'll come out nice and crispy. But usually that's not the case. Usually they have it up at buffets where it's just sitting in, a big tray with other pieces, and they just kind of get mushed up and congeal. And it's just not a pleasant thing to eat. But my number 2 controversial food opinion is that Oreos are highly overrated. And again, I'm not saying they're bad. If they're there, I'll eat them. I'll eat more than I should. But I just feel like, everyone loves them, and I don't really get why. What's interesting is that I find Oreo substitutes, even your store brand chocolate wafer sandwich cookies, taste better. I find they're more chocolatey. Oreos are just, they're very sweet, but you get the sweetness first. You don't really get much chocolate when you bite into it. All right, and here we are at my number 1 controversial food opinion, and that is that spaghetti is the worst pasta shape ever. Think about it. How hard is it to eat a bowl of spaghetti? You have to twirl your fork around. Some people insist on using the spoon, but then other people get mad at you and say, oh, they don't use a spoon in Italy. You could cut it with a knife. That pisses off even more people. Oh, my dead grandmother is spinning in her grave because you did that. And at the end of the day, no matter what you do, it's always more work than it should be. You twist it on the fork. Inevitably the strands fall off. You have to slurp it, and the strands hang down your mouth. It's just not a pleasant eating experience. And in what other context is it okay to put something that's 10 inches long in your mouth at one time? Okay, let's not answer that. But and another thing that bothers me about it is that it's always geared towards kids. Go to any restaurant, they're gonna have spaghetti and meatballs on the kids menu. And it's like, it's hard for me as an adult to eat it. You expect kids to somehow do it. And, with 2 young kids of my own, I see firsthand, spaghetti is not a kid-friendly food at all. All right, well, those are my 5 controversial food opinions. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you agree with me? Leave a comment and let me know. If you'd like more of this kind of video where I just talk about things that I like or don't like, let me know. And, make sure to hit that like button and see more of this kind of content. Feel free to subscribe. And, until the next video, this is AJ reminding you to embrace the awkward.